I don't know my origin. Ask me to name the soil-soaked places that was walked, or trodden, or stepped on, or crawled upon by those that came before I was formed, and with a bit of shame I'll say I don't really know where I came from. And though I'm not sure how I should know what I was never taught or told, I have asked, but I've not gotten enough answers, and you might say, doesn't your history start here? In this paradox of a paradise you call home, and I say no. It must have begun elsewhere, in places that were home before I became a body. I do not know where I came from, or rather, where my family came from. I know that my mother is a melody that came from a woman that was sung into existence by a woman whose funeral I remember going to as a child, yet somehow my tongue does not remember her name. And you're not really supposed to forget a thing like this, especially when, regardless of if you know it or not, you will carry it in your blood like a child coming full term in your belly until you breathe your last breath. There is a feeling of unbelongingness in the absence of knowing my family history, in the absence of the stories about the woman that came before I stopped identifying as one, of the lands they hailed from, of the bodies of water crossed, of their struggles and their triumphs, of the bits and pieces of loss and dreams lusted after. I wonder if my mother ever bothered to ask her mother, or if my grandmothers and great-grandmothers ever bothered to tell their experiences of how they managed to remain full collection of poems and paperback novels and unsuspecting bags of explosives, heirlooms left to linger in my skin. I can only imagine, because there is no real way to confirm descending from the likes of war heroes, of slaves, of rebel women, of undercover gods who travel the ends of the earth combating fists and fight down from an army of martyrs to endurers of ugly, nasty things. I can only imagine descending from women who sat with their legs open, who laughed throwing their heads back so that you could see the back of their throats, who cussed, stink, who would fix you proper if you stepped to them wrong. I guess a way to time travel is to forget ourselves through silence, through letting our stories slip through the cracks, taking everything with us to our graves. I know that before I was born, my mother traveled to Venezuela. I think it's the only place she ever traveled to outside of Trinidad, and the furthest place my father has ever been is Tobago. I know that my grandmother on my mother's side held me as a baby. I know she transitioned before I learned how to say hello. I don't know what my mother's father looked like because we have no pictures. And my father's mother is alive but is too dry a river to spill anything. I know that his father was a current in that river that did not flow beyond his teenage years. Unlearn us this quiet, this hushing, this zipped lip, a hiding place for mythology and parables and prayer. Make us known. Anoint us in bravery so that we give even in our deaths. There are too many massacres, too many stories taken to the grave, too many of us who will have a harder time learning who we are because we do not know where we came from.